Haba ka sorkar kaliya jingtip badan ke jingti dewiong bean ke sorkar kala phah khang da ki hajar teli ki ejahar persya ya ki to ki bele bean. Ke sorkar ke haban bad ya ki kendon an man ke por ba ki yo jingtip kala phah ya ki bor ke an benle ya ke badan kam bada ki hajar kala syat dan kunah. Menteri rang ba ke jelau konrad ki sang ma mentagsi ka kendai trik no pra. Ar hajar rapsanul ong badai ban ken mau kawai ke ke balong ai menshua ban menta ke kelabe an kam dai ke besok ban kela sendet ban yo ti dawyong biang hab ban dele da kawai kalenti ban kata hab ban apply na ke sorkar pedang ban na ke sorkar jela ban yo ya ke jengbet ban ti dawyong ha kene ke jengkala kala dang yai menta menteri rang baul ong bakam dai ke besok ya gitu kilong yen ki bala impatang-patang na kamti marpok kendo ban syong kensan pimla benle ya kane pimla benle ya katai ke sorkar kelawat ya kalenti bakumno ban yuati ya ki marpok kendo kat kum kene kejuk ke bamenta ban sengan ki betrai.
Maybe 100 times, so you can always go back to your videos and you can see two things out here. 2014 and before, for 200 years, the mining was done in the way, rat hole mining or tunnel mining, whatever you call it. And lakhs of families were involved in this. And suddenly you come and say that, oh, the same thing which was okay and legal for 200 years is from tomorrow illegal. Obviously, it's a big shock to everybody and the people, and especially the miners. So therefore, it takes time for them to come out of that mode where livelihood is dependent, their lives, the families are dependent on that, other businesses are dependent on it. And therefore, it's not a very simple thing. Why I'm saying this is because it's very easy today just to say, oh, it's illegal. And for 200 years it was legal. And suddenly one day somebody wakes up and said, oh, it's not legal anymore, it's illegal. Question is it fair for the person who is on the ground, earning his or her livelihood and supporting his or her family, and suddenly saying that it's illegal tomorrow? But whatever it is, it was done. Now, in that whole process, all the government machinery, police, legal, everybody has been involved, the judiciary has been involved, trying to implement this mandate that was put in, which, as I said, is very complicated, keeping in mind the history of 200 years. So to answer to your question is very simple, is that whenever there have been cases where we have been given information about facts that mining has been happening, the government has acted. Thousands of cases have been filed, thousands of charge sheets have been done, and many actions and fines have been made. Many mines have been closed down. So action is happening. But as I said, one has to remember and realize and that this thing that we call illegal was legal before, and suddenly one day just get up and it says illegal. It is not so simple for people to just simply go away. For livelihood to be sustainable in the long run, alternatives have to be given to people. Now, if you want an alternative to mining, then you have to come up with scientific mining. Now, that process is on now. We are seeing that transition from rat hole mining to a scientific and a safer mining happening. Is going to happen today, tomorrow? It can't. It takes time because people have to invest, people have to adapt, people have to file for different procedures, get the permissions from Delhi, from Coal Ministry, from CMPDIL, from Government of Meghalaya. So it is going to take time. But the important point is we are in that direction. We are moving towards that phase. And while we move and transition into a phase of having a more safer mining system and the transition of having more scientific mining system, there will be certain issues and cases that will come up. There could be certain incidents, but as a government, as I said, for us the rule of law is important, and therefore we do implement it. Whenever we get information, we act on it. We have closed down many mines, and we have filed cases against many people, and we'll continue to do that. But I think, as I said, while we look at the administrative and the legal aspect and judicial aspect to it, we also need to realize the social aspect, the livelihood aspect, and understand the humane side of why this is happening, and understand that though it is desirable to be able to completely switch off, it is practically not so simple for individuals who have been, having the livelihood dependent on the mining for hundreds of years, families and generations later, suddenly telling them that you cannot do this, you cannot live your life. I mean, you cannot, support your family through this. You have to stop this. So it is that humane side which I think the people should understand, the press should understand, and everybody involved should understand. What is important for us to see is that slowly and steadily we should find the alternative, and hopefully we'll be able to find a situation where we are able to now, in the coming days and years and months, that we'll have a safer system for the miners and a safer system for the overall environment also.
What about the